How y'all doing? Hey, great week out this week. It's
pretty
we're
hot.
just coming off National Trenching Safety Week.
Is it the week or the month?
Oh gosh, that's a long
There's
time
too much
to try
shit
to be
going-
safe.
yeah, there's too much shit going on this
That's a long
month.
time to try to be safe in trenches,
Yeah, that's a good point.
right?
Yeah.
I mean, let's just try for a week.
Yeah.
Then it can all go to shit.
just if we can get
Why
one good
wouldn't
week.
they have National Trenching Year?
Because it's the same, if you implement a plan,
Yeah,
it's more of like a check-in.
yeah. To remind them?
Just a week to remind you so you can keep doing all the great stuff you're already doing.
Okay. And remind you what is the great stuff.
Right, yeah, it's just a week of saying, we care about this.
Yeah.
Because when you give if I gave you a week, it'd make you feel special.
Oh.
Yeah.
Speaking of,
Feeling special?
well,
Yeah.
feeling special and caring and all that shit,
Yeah.
how's that ice cream thing going?
Pretty good. We blew the hub part on the trailer yesterday.
Is that because you don't do pre-ops? Should you have done a pre-op? Hold on, could we have prevented this if you
Okay.
had done a pre-op on that
Pre-op
trailer?
was done. Everything was great, but I will add, someone was restoring the trailer like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. So you will
Which
try to
involves-
blame it on them?
Which you said you popped those caps off.
Yeah.
Sorry, the no-named mechanic painted the rims and just told me when I got home, or got back here, fuck, I just called the office home. That's not good. You said you had the caps off, so you're the last person to look at them.
Correct.
So you were my mechanic that I trusted.
And you didn't do a pre-op before leaving?
No, I don't pop the hubcaps off to.
Okay.
Not even the hubcap. It's what retains the.
Do you have a pre-op sheet?
On the trailer?
Yeah.
Yeah, I kick both tires and I eat a thing of ice cream and then I hop in.
And if the ice cream's good, you're on the road?
Yeah.
Is that pretty much it?
It's good every time so far.
So where have you been?
We just got back from Rutland.
Yeah?
We also went to.
Went to what, half a dozen sites down there?
Yeah, saw Casella. We saw their site at Bear Mountain, and then we went to their pit in Mendon, and then we actually stopped at their regular office. That was a three-parter.
And you saw Belden?
We saw Belden doing their bridge job. That was cool.
That was kind of funny because you had traffic control
We had to
as
run.
well.
We had to run through the road to get
Yeah.
to them. Yeah, but they were great to see, and they didn't kick us off. So that's
Yeah.
my biggest worry is that I get there with ice cream, and people are like, "What the are you doing here? Get away!"
Yeah, don't you think that'd be funny to be thrown off?
Yeah,
I think it would be. I want a picture of that. Somebody throwing you off a job site.
I try to be-
want a picture. If you guys throw Ben off the job site because he's dropping you ice cream and giving you a safety talk, I want a picture. I want a picture of him being escorted to the truck to get out.
yeah, that's great. They'll have like flat tires in the morning on all the pieces of equipment. Not for me.
So, but that's going over beautifully, and all
Yeah.
they got to do is email you, and you'll set up a time or a date
No,
to come down.
don't email me.
Email Ben
No,
at
that's not how any of this
agcvt.org.
works.
How's this work?
I email out in our safety group. It's like 200 members.
Yeah.
I email out on Monday saying where we're going, and then you can respond and let me know where you want me to go and who's a good person to talk to that's on the site.
That's good.
Yeah, so I'm trying to keep it semi-scheduled, or try to keep it as scheduled as possible or organized.
Okay.
So when you tell everyone to just email me,
Just email Ben.
no, because then I'm
just send
flagged.
him
No,
an email.
because if they send me an email and they're in Rutland, I'm going to Grand Isle next week. It's not going to work.
Pat, out in California,
No.
you send Ben an email, ask him to come
Yeah.
drop you off some Vermont ice cream.
Yeah, I'll have like just a 5-gallon bucket of melted ice cream, and I'll just
That would be funny as shit, right?
Just carrying my carry-on.
Okay.
That's good.
But we're supposed to be talking about trench safety,
Yeah, we saw a lot of trench boxes yesterday, so I was pumped to see that.
and that all looked good? Because it
I
was
think
National
there's a-
Trenching Week, right?
There was a step ladder in one of the holes.
Yeah.
That was not great.
The other big thing OSHA's chasing right now is this
Heat.
whole heat thing.
I've had two
I mean-
complaints come to the office.
Everybody and their brother is getting checked for heat. So we will probably talk about this very shortly
we
in the
should.
future, but
We've covered it, but not the documentation side, which
right
is where people are
now,
getting stung.
you should be doing training on heat stress,
Recording it,
number one, and record that.
like a sign-in sheet, not like recording it like we are now.
And number two, we should make available breaks and water and
Right.
that
Like a day
whole
like today
piece.
where it's 86
Shadows.
and humid out. I've had to take multiple breaks today.
Yeah, I've watched you.
Yeah.
Oh my God. What is it? You get cold in your office and you have to
Yeah, I go
to
outside.
warm
Yeah.
up?
Yeah, my office is 62, so.
Okay. But, so keep an eye on the whole heat stress
Yeah.
thing and we'll catch up further on that, but that's important to keep in mind. But trenching is what we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
And I always call trenching the S cubed standard.
Really?
Yeah.
Walk me through it.
You're kind of an S cubed guy, right?
Does that mean like handsome, really smart?
That's not S at all.
Oh.
S cubed would be nothing more than sloping, shoring, and shielding. S cubed. Don't you remember that?
No.
Figured from high school you probably knew what cubed was.
No, I didn't do well in math. I was a grade behind. Not a grade behind, but I was class down in math.
It's multiplied
I know what cubed
twice.
is. Cubed?
Well, yeah.
Cubed is 3 times.
Right, but you multiply and then you multiply again.
That's squared, isn't it?
I don't
No,
think
squared
so.
is just once.
It's
Squared,
once.
Yeah, no, you got me.
Okay?
Yeah.
You weren't good at math.
No, I got. I
But,
had
so
a
we
pretty
talk
grade
about
though.
sloping.
Yeah.
Sloping number one, try to slope or bench those trench walls back,
Yes.
right?
Yeah, in some situations we can't if it's a tight work site and we
Okay.
don't have the room to actually slope far enough.
Okay, that's why we call it sloped cubed, or S cubed, because the
Right.
second step of that is using shore systems that you build in place with plate and hydraulic rams holding those walls in place.
Yeah, or a trench box.
Well, hold on,
You can get
because it's not a trench box under S cubed.
It's a shielding device.
It's a shielding device.
Yeah.
That way I can use all 3 S's.
Right.
See that?
Yeah.
That worked pretty good?
Sure.
Okay. So a shield, we put a shield in there, like you want to call it, a trench box, to protect those walls from collapsing,
Yeah.
right?
And when's the depth we usually want to do that?
At 5 feet or less if there's a chance for that to collapse.
Right.
But 5 foot's our mark,
Typically our mark.
right?
Yeah.
And then we got never work in an unprotected trench, and a competent person should design and install those protective systems, remembering
What a competent person is?
S cubed,
Oh, S cubed.
remembering that. And then relying on the best one to use in that particular situation.
Which would mean we'd have to do some sort of pre-planning.
Probably do an excavation checklist, right? And have that available on site in case we need to produce it.
I would say so.
And then we have to ensure safe entry and exit.
Not with a step ladder.
Not with a step ladder, it's gotta be a ladder or a built-in ramp coming out of that hole, trench,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that works.
okay? And that's at 4 feet or greater.
4 feet is the depth for needing an exit or an entrance. And then the important part is it's not just don't use a step ladder. Well, it's don't use a step ladder, but if we're using a regular ladder, we gotta make sure it has to go 3 rungs above, or 3 feet above,
3 feet above.
which is an easy one that happens all the time.
And then somebody, competent person again, you're on this competent person thing, should do some type of soil analysis, right?
Yeah.
Because you got A, B, or C soil.
What's it called, a pyrometer or something? Or is
Well,
that completely off?
There's thumb testing, pyrometer, there's looking at it, there's being smart and just saying that C
Dribbling
soil.
some water on it,
It's
seeing-
C soil, that's it, we're gonna run with C.
Yeah, that's the safest bet.
But if you use 2 of the S cubed pieces, the shoring or the shielding, you're supposed to do that, but you've protected yourself because under C soil, technically you can't bench.
Correct.
You can slope, but you can't bench.
Correct.
And you gotta treat it as C soil at that point.
Yeah, and anything that's been dug before is automatically considered sea soil.
Downgraded one,
No, yeah, if it's been dug before, it's considered sea soil.
downgraded one. Okay?
Because we don't see any A here.
And then everybody,
Stable rock.
everybody should be trained in some fashion. And
So
we
if I
should
hire a
understand-
guy today, I'm not throwing him in a hole tomorrow.
Well, you could throw him in a hole tomorrow, right? But you better train him before you do, so he understands.
I hired him
the
at
hazard.
3:30. He's working at 7:30. You think that's enough time to train him how to be in a
At
hole?
6 in the morning.
Yeah.
Hey, meet me at 6. I'm going to tell you what to do, and then we'll get going.
Get the in there.
That's right. And always keep heavy equipment away from the trench edges.
2 feet.
2 feet. And
Spoil piles.
be
2.
mindful of water,
Yeah.
either accumulating or standing inside that
Or
trench.
you come in and it's there from the previous night of rain. Like if you worked on a Friday and then it rains all weekend, like it has every single weekend, you come back on Monday, you try to assess it.
And don't forget, always inspect trenches before we start work on that day.
Yeah.
So that requires another piece of paper.
Or-
So right
yeah.
now, we got the trenching or excavation checklist. Then we turn around and on a daily basis, we do a trenching log.
Yeah.
To identify that the system hasn't changed and there aren't other risks or hazards within that hole. Make sense?
Pretty big deal.
I mean, you're pretty good. You got a JP Seacat shirt on there.
Yeah, I do some
They
consulting
probably,
work for them.
they probably, you probably got them.
They don't
like
even
that.
need me, they're so good.
Yeah. Okay.
All of our members are great.
Okay.
That's what makes my job hard.
Well, speaking of your job, I'm going to quiz you here. I got my paper. I'm going to quiz them.
Okay.
There are 10 important numbers
Yeah.
for trenching
Yeah.
that everybody should know.
Sure.
What's the first number?
1.
And what's that?
Competent person, daily trench log.
Okay.
2.
Hold on. Competent person, daily trench log.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Second number is 2.
2, what's that?
Spoil piles and equipment 2 feet away.
Okay, at least 2 feet away.
At least 2 feet.
We'd like them more. Remember that when you start piling this dirt or spoils, it spreads on the bottom,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
What's the other hazard with these 2 foot away thing when you have this bank over here or something? Is there any problem there?
If you're blocking someone's view from walking into the hole.
Oh, that'd be funny.
No, it would fall 8 feet down. You're gonna look for the next number, it's 3. And that's pertaining to if we're using a ladder, making sure it's 3 feet above the top.
Top.
Yep.
What's the number 4?
4 is the depth at which you need a ladder or a way of exiting the trench.
So
4 feet.
the 3 is 3 feet above.
Yeah.
And the 4 is I need a ladder.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't they put 3 after 4?
You taught me this. This is what you taught me.
Why wouldn't they take the 3 feet after the 4?
I don't know.
That 4 is more
One-
important
one, two-
than the 3.
Okay, we'll do 1, 2, 4, 3.
That would be the way, but you weren't good at math, so I understand what you're
No.
saying. Huh?
Yeah, okay. Next one's 5,
5?
and that's when 5 feet's when we need protection.
But it could be lower than that.
If we've got a bunch of
It
water
could be
or
4.
if there's, yeah, sure.
It could be 3,
Yeah.
if there's a chance of
'Kay.
collapse, right?
6.
So should 5 go before 3 and 4?
5, 1,
Should
2,
it be
4,
1,
3.
2, 5, 3, 4?
Yeah, sure.
Huh?
You're gonna make this harder for them to follow.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. 6 is the next one.
What's 6?
It's a stupid one.
What's
It's
that
not
one?
stupid, it's just doesn't pertain to a lot of
Okay.
what we do. 6 is the fall protection standard for a trench. It's 6, anytime we're 6 feet or deeper, we need fall protection. But the caveat is it's only when the view of the hole is obstructed by
Plant growth?
plant growth or
So I
any
really
other
don't
visual
need,
barrier.
so I really don't need fall protection for
If
a
you've
trench.
got grass there, just take a weed whacker. I'm dead serious.
Would you use an electric one or gas powered?
I would use the gas power and I run a hose off the exhaust down into the hole. With my bit. After 6,
No, you're at 10.
I'm at 10 now. 10 feet, when you're 10 feet down, that's when you usually start being a little worried about what the air quality is down there, especially on a hot day if we're by a highway or anywhere where, because those exhaust fumes are going to go down there. And the air doesn't have the same circulation as it does when it's around 4 or 5 feet deep.
Okay. And so we should do some air
Yeah.
monitoring or testing at 10 feet.
Stick someone down there. If they get lightheaded, then bring them up.
The canary?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
We got our own canary. Ben will stop by and go down for you, check
Call
it out. Email Ben at agcvt.org.
Yeah, I do confined spaces too. Just tie a rope around my waist and I saw that today, by the way.
Did you?
Driving home. It was 5 roofers with rope tied around their waist, hanging it on the other. So when
We aren't
over
talking
the
about
arch.
fall protection.
No, I
Okay.
wanted to stop, but I didn't.
Okay. What's the, there's an 18.
The 18 is, so let's say we've got an elbow that we're working with and we put a trench box in.
Like you put a trench box in
And you slope-
and you got
yeah.
a slope.
So that 18 inches means that the trench box has got to be 18 inches above that elbow. And it's the same thing where if for some reason we didn't level it out, and we've got a trench box on a side hill, that top side has to be 18 inches above the ground.
Okay.
Prevent rolling
Above the
hazards.
elbow
Right.
of the ground.
Prevent,
But if
rolling
I'm just all level ground or semi-level,
Right.
then the top of that trench box has to be level with the top of the
Right.
ground.
Yes.
It can be higher,
Yes.
but it can't be lower than that cut.
Right.
Okay.
And if we're on the road, and let's say we've got a curb or a sidewalk on one side, and you can't have it perfectly level, what you can do is you can bench underneath the box, raise it 2 feet up, so you can get up over the curb.
Okay, now the other piece, because you mentioned sidewalks, we got to protect that sidewalk from cave-in. So if you've got any sort of undermining with that sidewalk or other top side,
Yeah.
asphalt or whatnot, you got to protect that from cave-in as
Yeah.
well or collapse. 20 feet?
At 20 feet, you don't make the decisions anymore. It goes to a certified engineer.
How about registered?
Certified, registered, yeah.
Nah, they're two different words. They don't certify engineers, they register them.
I didn't finish it. It was certified, comma, registered.
Once again, email Ben on that for clarification.
Yeah.
Okay.
We got an ID maker here, so if you need to be a certified or a registered engineer, give me a call.
25 feet.
Is the maximum distance that I can be from a ladder or a ramp to exit.
To get out,
Yeah.
25 feet.
You wanna know it comes after 25?
Sure.
You're probably gonna say 45, but I didn't wanna go there. 45 is usually our minimum slope
Okay.
angle.
45 degrees, 1
Yeah.
to 1 is
Yeah.
minimum.
And then last is 50.
Yeah, what's
And that's
that?
the max distance between 2 ladders or between 2 ramps.
Access points,
Whatever.
yeah. Okay. What's 90?
I've never done 90.
What's 90?
You beat me.
Okay?
Yeah.
It's the
How many
weight.
cigarettes we can smoke
It's-
down in the hole? Once you
Then
reach,
we'd have to do, hold on, get 10 feet, smoke a pack of cigarettes, and do an air test.
yeah,
No, 90 is 1 cubic foot or 1 square foot, cubic foot of
it says 90
soil.
to 140.
90.
To 140.
It's the weight of 1 cubic foot of soil.
Wow,
Down there, 90 pounds,
that's crazy.
okay?
Yeah.
How long, this is even better.
Okay.
How long does it take for dirt to fall 10 feet? So I got dirt here,
Yeah.
and it falls 10 feet. How long does it
I
take?
bet it falls a foot a second a foot or something.
Do you?
Probably.
See, that's
One.
the problem.
One.
That's the problem. 10 feet, a square or a cubic foot of dirt.
Oh, it wouldn't take 10
10
seconds.
feet.
Sorry, that was stupid. I bet it takes
He's not good at math.
No, I bet it takes a second for it to fall 10
Half
feet.
a second, 10 feet.
Okay, I wasn't far off. I said a second for 10
Cubic
feet.
foot. So we got to be careful about what we got up there and what's going on around us.
Yeah,
Right?
that's pretty dangerous.
Then, what's a cubic yard of soil weigh?
1.3 to 1.6 tons.
You can't cheat on
I
my
don't
cheat sheet.
That's how I graduated
Okay.
high school.
And then just bringing this back to where we started. If we follow, I'll say 2 big rules.
Yeah.
Trench checklist or excavation checklist.
Look before you leave.
Utmost importance. Second, a daily log.
Yeah.
Make sure and maintain a daily trenching log. And we remember SQ.
3, make sure you're taking make sure you're paying attention to how deep we're going, because it's easy to go from 5 to 8 feet and not realize it.
I'll tell you, it's easy to go from 4 to 5 feet,
Yeah, that's pretty
right?
good. Yeah.
That's easy. And all of a sudden at 5 feet, you're out of compliance.
And that's 16 grand.
That's what it is.
And then I get a call.
And you get a call. Or an email at ben@egcvt.org.
That's great.
Have we pretty good?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you have a good weekend?
Yeah, I rode my mountain bike
Yeah.
a bunch. And then I did some brush hogging on the tractor. And then
Well, I did.
I put an engine back in the
I
dirt
took
bike.
Friday off.
Oh, this upcoming weekend. I thought you were talking about the weekend that just happened. Yeah, no, this weekend I rode
You
my...
blew it. We're supposed to be talking on Monday.
It doesn't
talking
change.
about the weekend
It
that just went by.
It doesn't change. I did
and
brush
I was
hogging.
trying to lead into this.
I hopped on the brush hog, and then I also rode my dirt bike because we just put a new crank in, and yep,
And you're going out for scoops for safety this week?
on Wednesday.
Yeah, 2 days from now.
Yeah, but I don't know where we're going yet. It's gonna come out on Monday.
Okay, but if you want them to come see you, send an
My
email to
my
Ben.
ice cream is melting on the table over there because I was
Yeah.
gonna open it before we did this.
Okay, and I took Friday off,
Yeah,
got back today.
I think I left at 1:30 on Friday.
Did you? That's generally the way. Okay, that might be why I never take Fridays off.
Because I leave.
But hey, let us
it's
know
pouring out.
if there's something we can do or some way we can help you. Again, we're running this Scoops for Safety
Or,
and Safety Talks.
Stop by.
Stop by. We
Especially
have
on-
ice cream.
Yeah, we have a lot of ice cream. Stop by and say hi.
And great talking to you. Good to see you. Richard,
Ben.
if you need something, give us a call. 802-223-2374. Or give Ben an email.
Ben@agcvt.org. Don't
And-
do .com.
No,
.org.
that's not good.
No, because then I never get them.
Remember, we're here for you.
Yep.
Thank you all for joining us. You all set for that ice cream?
Yeah, I'm gonna go eat it right now.
Are you?
actually. Yeah.
Is it melting over there? You didn't
I
even
even
take the
s-
top off it.
I know, because that's how dedicated I am to this video.
You're having that strawberry super
Oh, I
stuff or what?
thought you'd get mad at me for taking one of the wanted flavors, so I took the flavor that no one takes.
Strawberry. And next week, I understand you got maple bacon.
That's unreleased.
We aren't supposed to talk about
I
that.
don't think
huh?
so. I don't know if I'm getting it. No, worst case is I'll just take some maple and I'll push some pieces of bacon into it with my hand in the morning.
That's great. Sounds
Yeah.
like that Pakistani road cooking they're doing over there.
Oh, Jesus Christ. No, no, edit that out, please.
Hey, have a good day. Thank you all.